Every 40 seconds, somewhere on this planet, someone has a stroke. By the time you finish this sentence, another brain has been hit. Every year, stroke kills almost 6 million people worldwide, ranks as the second leading cause of death, and is the #1 reason people end up with permanent disability. The part nobody tells you clearly enough. In a huge number of cases, the brain gives you very specific warnings hours or days before the big stroke. You just have to know what they look like. If you want health information explained in plain language with no drama and no sugarcoating, subscribe and tap like. The goal for Dr. Waterling is 200,000 subscribers, and you can actually move that number. I share extra checklists and practical health posts on my Telegram. The QR code is on screen if you want to grab those. Stroke is not just you were fine, you fell, you woke up in the hospital. In most cases, stroke is the predictable endpoint of blood vessels that have been degrading for years. If something is predictable, it is at least partly preventable. That is the whole point of this video. When people say stroke, they are actually talking about two very different events in the brain. One is a hemorrhagic stroke. A blood vessel in the brain bursts. Blood pours into or around the brain, forms a clot that compresses brain tissue, and a lot of those patients die. The other is an ischemic stroke. A vessel does not tear but gets blocked. Blood flow stops to part of the brain, and brain cells in that zone start dying in roughly 4 to 6 minutes. Ischemic strokes make up around 85% of all strokes. So that is what I'm going to focus on today. To understand why every minute matters, you need a feel for how demanding your brain actually is. Your brain weighs roughly 1.44 kilograms, about 2% of your body weight, but it uses around 20% of the oxygen you breathe in and about 25% of all the glucose circulating in your blood. It is a control center that never turns off, and it needs a constant fuel line. Cut that fuel for even a few minutes and cells start dying in ways you cannot reverse. That is why doctors say stroke is a race against time. It is literally a race to save brain tissue before it is gone for good. Most people miss what I'm about to say. Chapter 2. Why strokes are predictable. For a brain artery to suddenly block, the groundwork usually took years. The walls of the vessel have been damaged. Cholesterol and clots have been building up. The opening has been getting tighter. This is not an explosion out of nowhere. It is the last step of a long process. Along that road, your body usually sends out warning signals. The problem is nobody ever taught you how to read them. In medicine, those early warning shots are called a Transient Ischemic Attack, or TIA for short. Chapter 3. What is a TIA? Transient just means temporary. It comes and it goes. Picture a carotid artery, the main neck artery that carries blood from your heart up to your brain. Over years, a fatty plaque forms on the inner wall right where the artery branches. The opening slowly narrows. Then at some point the already tight vessel goes into a brief spasm. Blood flow stops for a few seconds or a few minutes, and the brain area fed by that artery basically blacks out for that short time. You see or feel a stroke symptom. Then the spasm relaxes, blood flow returns, and the symptom fades, and you think you are fine again. What research actually shows is that a transient ischemic attack very often comes right before a major ischemic stroke, typically within the next 72 hours. Those 3 days are your window where the disaster can still be prevented. Most people do not use that window because the warning episode was short, strange, and then went away. So, they talk themselves out of taking it seriously. These warning episodes usually last from about half a minute to maybe 10 minutes. That is exactly why they slip through the cracks. You can be in your kitchen, in the shower, getting out of a car, and by the time you stop and think, the symptom has already passed. But each of those episodes is your brain sending a final, very clear message. I am about to be in serious trouble. I want to walk you through the Chapter 4. Warning Sign 1. Vision Blackout. 5 big red flags, and explain not just what they look like, but what is actually happening inside your body each time. The first warning sign is